Howdy, 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 and welcome to another episode of the DirtInfo Podcast. I'm Josh. This gentleman to my side is Carter, and then down below we've got our friend Julian. So Julian, I think you're the only one with weather warm enough to actually go racing amongst the three of us. So, where did you find yourself at this weekend?
Yeah, I made a last second decision to go down to Gulfport Dragway. They had a $20,000 to win small tire, no prep drag racing event. Which, even though I love drag racing, is kind of out of my wheelhouse. I don't really know a whole lot about the no prep scene, but there were some top drivers there, like Ryan Martin from
Oh,
No Prep Kings, who
hey,
Josh
I
actually
know him. Yeah, I heard him. My drag racing starts and ends with Street Outlaws, so he was on that show.
there were a couple of those
Furball
guys there,
Camaro.
and that's about the only reason I went, since it seemed like it was kind of a big deal. And Ryan Martin ended up winning the 20 grand. I had to leave
Nice.
it early. We were going to a hockey game, so I had to leave. I couldn't stay. I stayed for the first few rounds. And he actually previously won I think it was 10,000 or 15,000 the week before in Monroe, the same type of event. So it's kind of a good stretch for him. There's supposed to be some other heavy hitters there, like Kai Kelly was supposed to be there, but he is another street outlaw guy. But he hurt
Hmm.
an engine in testing, and he opted just to prepare for the Snowbird Nationals, the pro mod event that's going to be on Flow actually this weekend. So it'll be a big
Oh,
event. Check out too.
yeah. I
But
think
yeah, it
it's
was actually
amazing.
yeah, it was actually warm there. I ended up taking my jacket off and had my t-shirt on while everybody else had a jacket on. It looked like they were freezing. But it was like 60, 62, 63 degrees, so it's not too bad.
It it was not that here. It was
No.
it was much colder. Black Friday shopping, Saturday Black Friday shopping, Sunday Black Friday shopping. It was all very cold. Um, so, but yeah, I think there's a couple other races on Flow that we might talk about. But Carter, any other big races going on this weekend?
Yes, there's one not on Flow, unfortunately, but at I-37 Speedway down in Texas, they have the Texas Showdown, which is 10,000 to win for IMCA mods, which I didn't even honestly know was happening until I saw a random picture of the flyer in a Facebook comments. But yeah, it's got 10,000 for IMCA
Hey.
mods, and then the limited mods, which I don't know if those are USRA or just kind of open to whatever, but those are 6,500 to win. And looking at their Facebook, they had Cade Dillard, Jeremy Mills, William Gold. I'm missing guys that I can't. Jackson Sadoff. I don't remember who else was going there, but
Yeah.
Chris Huckabee, I believe, Chris Morris, some guys that are down there in that region. I believe Huckabee, I believe he runs some USRA stuff. I might be mistaken, but I know some of those guys are pretty decent down there. And there's actually a South Texas IMCA modified tour that kind of regularly runs around that I-37 kind of area and down on the Texas Gulf
Oh,
Coast. So seems like they draw some decent cars, and I think he said what they had about 26
yeah,
or
and that was just
good.
posted on Facebook. I know there was a couple I saw that said they were going that they didn't post on Facebook, so obviously they'll get more than 26. At least I'd hope so for 10 grand. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah. Yeah.
it's and I believe we kind of deduced too that I believe we believe Stephen Whitaker, who's an IMCA kind of driver down there, is putting on the event at I-37, and I believe Cade Dillard is driving his car.
yep.
Obviously,
Yeah.
Cade's more of a USRA guy, so it's kind of interesting to see him the IMCA mod. But he'll probably be one of the favorites as well. And then Cameron Starry making a rare appearance in IMCA modified, and but he's more known for his IMCA stock cars wins and things like that.
Yeah, he won the Dakota Mod Tour, the stock car portion of the Dakota Mod Tour for points by just a couple points too. I think it was like three or something like that. It was really close between a couple guys. But there's also Chris Zaw going down there, who is second in modified national points for IMCA. He runs
Yeah.
in Eastern Iowa by like 34 Raceway, Davenport, I'm assuming. But those area tracks. And then I looked up the format, and it looks like they're doing heats and then like A qualifiers. So I'm guessing it's like multiple multiple features that they're doing, and then Saturday they got heats, B mains, and then the features. So um, we'll keep our eye on that, and then see
Yeah.
who wins that and talk about it. Hopefully that we get a highlight video posted on Facebook. Does anyone
Not
know
even
who
sure
Yeah.
if
is
there is a
streaming
way to
that?
watch it.
I'm assuming Rayson might be doing it. I
Uh, uh,
That would
probably
be a
should have looked that up.
decent guess, but I guess we didn't look. No, it sounds like it's a pretty solid field of cars, though. Not bad for a IMCA event. Running against the dome. So
It is on
uh,
Rayson, by the way.
is it nice? I was trying to find it as well, but you're quicker than I, so right on.
But
But
that's pretty much all that's going
yeah,
on this week, besides the one race that I think pretty much everyone will be watching, which is the Dome. So I guess we still have a little bit of the draft left to do, the late model portion.
yeah,
So
yeah. All right. Well, let me go ahead and get this draft board put up. All right, we got the draft board pulled up. Looks like we're gonna do a 3 extra rounds. That's mostly just because there's like twice as many uh late model late models as there are mods. I feel like Julian's poking me in the face over there. Um, but
I couldn't
um,
get the draft board up. It was blank for me, so I was like, I don't want to look silly
well,
picking the same guy someone else picked.
well, the lazy eye looks over that way, so like I had a live view. Anyway, I digress. We're getting super sideways. So Carter, run us through the scoring again, just real quick.
yes, I was not prepared for that, but thankfully I did save this literally right before we started. So on Thursday and Friday, first in the prelim feature will get 30 points, and then second 29, and then all the way down to 18th, and 18th will get 13 points. And if you miss the show, you get 8. And then for the A main on Saturday, 50 for first, 48 for second, 46 for third, and so on down to I'm thinking they start 20. I know mods start 20. I don't know if late models start a couple
Yeah.
more. If they
They,
do start a couple more, then we'll just go down another 2 points. And then
yeah.
non-qualifier is 8. That could change depending on how many they actually start, though. It might be like 6 points if they start 24, 22, whatever it is. So
Yeah. I mean, the track's only so big, so I don't think we gotta worry
yeah,
much past 24.
yeah. I don't think they're going more than 24 unless
Yeah.
we turn into like a woo show and give out 15 provisionals. That could make it interesting, though.
Let's just start nose to tail with the rear of the field. That'd be something. But um, anyway, so Carter, you've got the first pick, and then I think we'll do similar to what we did last episode, where we'll all each round will alternate Thursday, Friday, Thursday, Friday. The last round for this one we'll just call the wild card. Pretty much any day you can pick whoever's left that you like. Um, and then we'll just adjust who starts first and which direction we go with each round by collaborative team effort when we get there. So, but the first round's super easy because it's Thursday and we start with Carter. So
The
we'll at least get this one without much trouble.
the one issue with being with late models is there's so many guys. I'm worried I'm going to skim right past like a Pierce or something.
I was doing
I
the
hear
thing
that.
while looking at this earlier too.
What day is Pierce on? Because if he's on
He's
Thursday,
on
I'll take him.
Friday. You're all good.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
Then I'll go. Oh, hopefully I don't skip someone good. I'll go with Tyler Erb, former winner.
All
I mean,
right.
he's had probably his best season ever, if I had to guess, this year.
Wow.
So
And we talked about Illinois bull rings last episode without the modifieds, and where's Tyler Erb been running a lot this year?
yeah,
Yeah.
this he likes his small tracks. This is right fits right on the fun tour schedule for him. So
And he's
That's
all
for
those out.
sure. Yeah, I was gonna say the fun tour is like that's this event to a T. Um, like I'd mentioned, I think more than one episode, but this is my favorite event. Um, I can't wait to go back. I genuinely cannot wait to go back. Um, so I don't know if this falls into the category of Carter skipping a good guy, but I'm going to take last year's winner. So 1 year more recent of a winner than Carter. I'm going to go with B Shep.
um,
Um,
I was looking for him. I will just say that, and I couldn't find his name. So I
I'm
found his dad.
sorry.
I couldn't find him.
So I have an informal system over here in MS Paint where I drew like spots next to drivers, and then the bigger the spot, the more I wanted to pay attention to that guy. So B Shep had a slightly bigger spot than everyone else. Um, but yeah, Illinois Bull Ring theme, last year's winner. I honestly think a tiny bit of a little bit of maybe a redemption arc too, or I don't know. There's a little bit of a story there too, which I'm kind of a sucker for. But coming off separating from the Longhorn factory team and kind of doing a little bit of his own thing. I don't think we got. Oh, he's in the Rocket one. Well, I forgot that announcement. But here at the Dome, I believe he's in a team car, or a family car, and so I just think a little bit cool. Kind of win the first big event since the split would be a cool story. So
But I
I'm here
believe
for it.
that family car is a rocket now.
Yeah, I think kind of had always sort of been, but I know Thornton ran a Longhorn that for that one weekend, but uh, yeah, I don't have any inside information. I always figured
Or
they like those
modified guys
cars.
know anything about late models.
Yeah, I mean, I have no inside information whatsoever. I'm just reporting on what I see out in the world. Julian, you are up.
You know
Um,
what? I'm kind of worried. I'm gonna skip over somebody that's kind of good here too. But the one that's really sticking out to me, actually, there's a couple of really good guys still left. But since the dome is kind of unusual, I'm gonna go with Ryan Gustin. Uh, I think he's I don't know. I think he's kind of like good on shorter kind of bull rings. I think he's kind of good everywhere now. I think he
mhm.
started off the season. Well, I guess he actually started off the season quite well, winning the Ice Bowl down at Talladega.
Yeah,
But he kind of went into like a slump, and it was kind of like, what is the season going to look like for Ryan Gustin? But I mean, I think he really turned it around, and I think he became one of the real top drivers on the tour. I think he would have
yeah,
been mentioned to win any night. I think he picked up a big XR win here or there too. I think kind of split it with Bobby Pierce for one of those like back-to-back nights or something like that. So yeah,
yeah.
I don't think I think Gustin will be really fun to watch. I honestly don't recall if he's run the dome. I assume he has, but I can't off the top of my head. I don't really
I
know.
I I wouldn't know for sure, but I feel like even if this is his first appearance, it won't probably look like it. Yeah, he was a sleeper, if you will, that I kind of was eyeing up. I thought that the this track, this event, this style of driving meshes well with him, and I figure I don't know. Ever since he's been in that Cooney car and they moved over to the Infinity chassis, they've just been really good, and um, he doesn't seem to have any shackles. So if he can advance and put up against the fence, I don't think anyone in that team's all that upset about it. So I think he's just geared up for possibly a big showing here. And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention multi-time USFTS national champ along the way. So I've been saying, I mean it for the last 2 years. I think Dustin's someone to keep an eye on in the late model. So
He
maybe
hasn't
this
run
will
it.
be his big win.
He hasn't run it at least up till 2019. He didn't run it at all, 2019 through 23. So I'm assuming this is
Okay.
probably his first start
Yep.
at the Dome. So
I would think so.
Oh,
But all right. So now we are on Friday. And I think just for variety's sake, I think we start Julian and we work right to left on the draft board, at least from our vantage point. So I'll be in the middle again. Carter, you'll be last. But Julian, you've got first pick on Friday. And thankfully, they made the list really easy on this one.
yeah. I'm gonna have a look quick scroll here to make sure I'm not missing anybody. But I do see here we have, let's see, Ricky Thornton Jr. First one.
Yeah,
Um,
he's right, right there at the top.
I I I don't have really anything groundbreaking to say about him other than I mean, he has a really good chance to win both events at the Dome. I mean,
Yeah.
prelims and mods and late models and that,
Yep.
and then I mean, if they ran sprint cars or midgets there, I mean, I'm sure he'd hop in one of those too. and
Mhm.
probably have a good chance to win. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
he's
have any other drivers.
probably bummed they don't have the midgets there like they have in the past. Probably bummed they haven't gotten the stock cars there like I've seen some people trying to get going. He's, so- he's just like, you guys are costing me money. Um, but no, I think I'm gonna I'm gonna take a little bit of a curveball, I think. Um, So, Carter, in case you're wondering, Bobby Pierce is on Friday's
I
list.
see him.
I'm not going to take him though. I'm going to take someone who I think's kind of done underratedly here and has been there quite a bit. And I believe was on the podium last year, but I'm going to take Tanner English. Um, I think just a little bit of a curveball. He keeps coming back. I know last year he had the Globo Gym theme wrap and the whole nine and finish on the podium. So seems like it's an event that means a little bit of something to him. So I figured I'd roll the dice. And this is a little bit of a get back. I feel like you would have much rather had Bishop than Herb. So I guess being collegial and maybe giving you a little bit of grace on the backside. That
English was
sounded
on
weird.
my to pick too. I think I honestly, I might take him to win the whole thing. I think he's really just really a sleeper pick. I mean, he and Gustin, I think, could really turn some heads and pull one off in this race.
I mean, and I hope for both our sake you're right.
For my sake,
More so Gustin.
I hope they don't do bad, but I hope they do worse than my drivers. So, um, I guess it's my pick. This made my pick a lot easier. I was deciding between two guys, but I guess I'll just take Pierce now. So I mean, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. He's won it two or three times. I know he's won it twice for sure. I don't know if he won
Think
it three.
twice. Yeah.
Yeah. Last year he struggled last year. I think, I don't know if something broke or if he just spun it on his own, but I remember on Saturday something happened and he wasn't very happy. But as long as that doesn't happen this year, I expect to see him towards the front. So
Yeah. Well, when we had gone there in 21, my oldest was on Saturday. He was debating between should he wear his new Bobby Pierce shirt or should he wear his new Tyler Carpenter shirt. And he waited all day because he's a front runner, if nothing else. And he had decided that Bobby was gonna ultimately finish better because I think he had already qualified for the main and T Carp was coming through with B main and everything. But it ended up shaking out that T Carp made and finished better than Bobby. Bobby dropped out with mechanical issues in that one too. And so he ended up taking a picture with T Carp in his Bobby Pierce shirt and he comes over after and was like, oh man, I wore the wrong shirt. So,
You know what you got to get him is like one of those people that sew the football jerseys together. Just
yeah,
have like half Tyler Carpenter, half Bobby Pierce.
yeah, for sure. But um, just a funny story about Bobby Pierce as a result of the dome, I guess. So, uh, but so now it is round two of Thursday, and I think it's me going to Julian, going to Carter, and then the next round will be me going to Carter, going to Julian. I think is how we made that work last time. So we'll keep that going. Um, so this is Thursday, and I feel like if I don't take him, I won't get a chance to take him, and it's relevant to the story I just told. So I'm gonna go with T Tarp. I'll take Tyler Carpenter. Um, I don't think much needs to be said. Two-time winner, uh, clearly takes his events seriously and is well suited to perform well. Um, I don't know. I also took him a little bit just because I think he's that story I just told, right? So like my sons will watch racing with me on occasion. I can bring them to the track. They'll go. They don't go with me every time. Sometimes that's because they were with their mom. Sometimes it's just because they don't want to go and I don't want to have a fight. Um, sometimes they'll watch racing with me. But the one thing I can guarantee is if Tyler Carpenter is at a race, my oldest son will watch it with me. And so I you know, I think that's good for the sport. I think when we went to the dome, his driving style uh made Xavier a fan. Like Xavier became a fan Tyler Carpenter. And by extension, so have I. So this is a little bit with a heartstrings pick, but I think the guy's as good as anybody inside that dome, and there's electricity and a desire that uh, that that he exhibits that not a lot of people do. So he's always liable to pull off a victory. So I'm gonna ride with him.
Basically, the too long didn't listen version of that is Tyler Carpenter was born to race at the Dome.
Yeah, I think so. And make fans of kids. Xavier was 13 when we went, and that's what that driving style is what a 13-year-old boy wanted to see. And so, but that would be it is now your pick, Julian. Second pick of
This is a really tough pick. Just knowing who's left on the board, and I feel like if it's a different track, I feel like it's a lot easier to make this pick. I don't know. I feel like it would be stupid not to make this pick, so I'm just gonna have to make the pick. He's listed above IMCA stock car guy, but I'm gonna have to go with Jonathan Davenport here. I just feel like I don't know. Maybe it's not JD's type of track, but it is JD. So gamble on the talent. You can't discount talent. So
I swear he's been here before and done well. I have no
I don't
stats to
know his
back that
results,
up,
but I think Carter did tell me he
Yeah,
has.
he's been there. I don't know how he did, but I know he's been there.
It just
I'll say
it
with
just doesn't strike me as like a JD type of track. But I mean, talent trumps everything else. So take talent.
right. I mean, like every track's kind of a shady track in a way. I mean, like he's just that dang good.
I just
He
think it
really
like
is.
when I just think of JD, I think of like a really really smooth kind of driver that can really like it's just really smooth, not a lot of mistakes and things like that. Not that he can't run bull rings because he can, but I mean it's just like I don't know, it's just the dome. The dome always like brings out like our mod draft. We took some different drivers because it was the dome. So
Yeah, the environment. Yeah. All right, Carter, you've got the last pick in this round.
I'll go with Ryan Unzicker. I know there's guys like Overton and stuff on the board, but I'm going for the type of track it is. And Unzicker's done well there. I think he flipped running second one year behind Carpenter.
I believe so.
And
I
I
think they had
mean,
been battling for the lead too
yeah,
at some
so
point.
but I
Yeah.
mean he ran Mars all year. He's good on the small tracks, obviously. So I, f- I, am expecting him to do well at the Dome again this year. So
Yeah. You'll never believe it, but I shook hands with him at the dome. I was in line behind him to try the simulator. So we had a brief chat. I know it's wild.
Ryan Unzicker, please come on our podcast.
Like, I'm gonna run out of stories really fast, I promise. I don't have that many, but we seem to be hitting the ones I have the last couple of
Well, I mean,
weeks.
we have like a really long line of drivers to come on the podcast now, though. Like we have Brock Zierfoss. No, there was somebody
Yeah.
else. The last one.
There was Broggs here. I don't recall a lot. There was another one though, and now we've got Ryan
Dylan
Unziger as well.
Thornton, was that
Oh,
who
I
it
think
was?
Dylan Thornton
Dylan
was the
Thornton, that's
one.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, we
yeah,
have a varied, lineup here to come on the podcast.
Every
yeah,
single driver that runs Ogilvy also is
Yeah.
on
yeah.
that list.
Open
Anybody
invitation for
that's
those guys.
ever like driven past Ogilvy within at least 50 miles is coming on the
No,
podcast.
why do you guys always take it one? If you race there, open invitation. Reach out, Julian at DirtInfo.com. He'll get you scheduled. All right, so it's my first pick for Friday, and this time we're gonna go harder to Julian. Um, so my pick. There's a couple guys on here who I think are favored, and I'll save them for wild cards. There's some guys on there though that I really like. I think I'm gonna take Nick Hoffman though. I don't. The car looks nice. It's a nice car. That always is a win. Obviously a dominant modified guy, so that doesn't hurt his case in my book. Um, And if we're talking about stories, his dad's running his modified for in the mods, and Nick's running his. So maybe we can have a dad son win both. That'd be kind of neat. Seems a little hard to do. The odds are probably stacked against that, but that'd be pretty cool.
Didn't
I'm a
Nick
little mad
Hoffman
about dying on Hoffman.
didn't Nick Hoffman podium the last year they had midgets? He podiumed in all three classes. I'm pretty sure
I
uh
think so.
he was I think he podiumed in the mod, late model, and the midget that year. That was the last year. That was what, 2, 3 years ago, whatever last year they had midgets was. So
I
he's
think
good. He's
so. And
good
I think he
there.
was
So
he is good there. That's for sure. Uh, but yeah, I be lying if I didn't say he had a nice looking car, and that plane swayed unreasonably in his favor.
You know what? I went to the drag strip on Saturday and I had a NOS. So Nick Hoffman,
Nice.
also please come on our podcast.
Yeah, and add him to the list. That's Julian at DirtInfo.com.
I've actually spoken to Nick Hoffman at Charlotte last year. I said hi and he looked at me and just kind of looked at me.
So
So
I suppose technically speaking, you did speak
yeah,
to Nick Hoffman.
I did.
He's never spoken to you, but you've spoken to Nick Hoffman.
He kind of looked at me, acknowledged that I said words. So we're basically best friends at this point.
I'm sure if you ran into him again, he would know. It's the same for every one of these guys at that age. No offense to them or me. All right, Carter, you're up.
so the first round of Friday, when I was expecting to take Pierce, I was deciding between Hoffman and another guy, and now I'm left with that other guy. So I'll go with, I think he's on, yeah, Devin Moran. I'll go with, right? He's on Friday, right? Or am I dumb?
Yes, he
Yes.
is.
Yes.
Okay.
Nope, you got it. You are not dumb.
I confuse him with on Thursday. There's a guy named Devin Morgan, and when I skim
Oh
past it,
yeah,
I think it's the same name. But yes,
yeah.
Devin
Devin,
Moran.
yeah, Devin Morgan, I think follows the page, so we should probably pick him.
I believe he's a North Carolina or South Carolina. I believe it's North Carolina guy.
Actually, fun story about Devin Morgan. When I went to Charlotte in 2019, I think he was running like street stocks or something at this point. I don't know. I
Okay.
was at some race
Yeah.
shop, like one of the NASCAR race shops, and for some reason we call them hot shots, hero cards, whatever people call them, the pictures of their car with their name on it,
Hmm.
um, was at one of the NASCAR shops I went to. Or it was Casey Kane, like where Brad Sweet keeps his car. It was either that one or a NASCAR ones, because that's where we went to. And I
Oh,
just got, so and somewhere in my room I have one of his hero cards, which is kind of random because I didn't know like anything about him at the time, and now I recognize his name because of that. So
so that is the best analysis we're gonna have of any driver draft, where we talk about a guy with a similarly spelled last name. So I think we should just transition to Julian for this year pick.
Well, I thought I was pretty straightforward on this next pick. Then I saw another guy, so now I don't know what to do here. But, all my guys are pretty straightforward. I guess I'm gonna go a little bit of a wild card here and go for a little bit of chaos and go Josh Rice.
I like it.
Josh Rice is, I would say, similar-ish to Tyler Carpenter, not as in the way that he was kind of built for the dome, and Josh Rice will always knock the spoiler off of the car. And I think he's shown that. I mean, he'll do that at Eldora, he'll do that at a boring, he'll do that anywhere. And I mean, Josh Rice is another guy that could, just bang the boards and come out with a win. So yeah, we'll
Yeah,
go Josh Rice.
I mean, I think yeah, I've been kind of, I was waiting on him a little bit too. I agree with your analysis there. He'll find the top of that fence. So, um, should be interesting. I think he's well suited to perform there. All right. So here's what I know for sure. We're picking Thursday for round 5. Um, I believe we're
should be me.
starting with Julian,
Oh, or not. Okay, I lied.
and I believe it goes Julian, Carter, me. right? Because this would be the third Thursday round. And so, yeah, I think that's how it's
We
gonna go.
definitely know what we're doing, so that's
We are
good.
professionals. Don't worry, we got it. But no,
All
I
right.
do think it
Well,
actually works out that way.
since I'm going here, I'm gonna go for a guy that's near Devin Morgan. I'm gonna go Jason Fager, another Illinois guy. Obviously, you're gonna pick him.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised. Like I wanted to go last round, but I waited. I mean, I don't think anybody who watches this is going to know who Jason Fager is and what he's all about. Kind of got into a little bit of a scuffle last year with Carson Hocevar on a restart there. Kind of ruined his chances at the Dome. But Jason Fager's always going to be really fast on bull rings. Always going to hustle the car. I don't know if he's posted his Dome wrap this year, or maybe I just missed it. But I think his Dome wrap's always something to look out for you. Usually,
Yeah, I
actually,
don't
maybe he
know that
did
I've
post.
seen it.
Maybe he has. I don't. He's
We may
usually
have.
one to look out for, though. But
Yeah.
anyway, another kind of an excitement guy, but also really, really fast on these type of tracks. So Fager, I mean, maybe top five, maybe a win too. I mean, he's
Yeah.
going to be up there no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about you know, Illinois bull rings, and certainly he runs Mars. He's seen them all.
He's the
Mars
So
epitome
champion.
of the Illinois
yeah,
driver.
yeah, yeah. Mars champion. I thought so. 2 years in a row, last year and this year. So for sure. Carter, I believe it is your pick.
Well, now that Julian ruined me going for the entire Summer Nationals roster, so I was gonna go with him. I'll go with a guy who I don't know if he ran second, but I remember him almost winning. Will Harrington. That was your Herb one, wasn't he leading like pretty much the whole thing, and then a late caution came out?
He cut a
Yeah,
tire.
Or is that
cut
what
a
it
tire.
was?
Yep,
Yeah. I knew something happened. I don't know if he ended up just getting passed or if something broke, but I remember he was pretty much checked out until like right at the end of that thing.
he was.
I don't know
So
whose
that
car he's in
door.
though, so um he changes rides feels like a good amount, but as long as it's
Yeah,
a fast car, it'll be okay.
it'll be all right. Fun fact, that door panel right there is a Will Harrington JCM autographed door panel that I bought at the Dome right before the feature because I love a good story. And I thought, well, if this dude pulls this off, there aren't going to be any signed ones there afterwards.
And so
So,
you ruined it. Is this the one where he blew
uh,
the tire?
that's the one where he blew the tire. Yeah, that's the one where he was leading. I didn't ruin it. I had it the whole race. He led the whole race while I had the thing. It had
Yeah,
nothing
but
to
he
do
didn't
with
lead the
me.
last lap.
Whoever caused the caution, that was their fault.
It's okay. He
They
dropped an
ruined
L,
my good
lost some
story.
weight.
They ruined my good story. Anyway, I'm kidding.
Okay, Will Harrington not coming on the podcast.
Oh, I think he will. He even responded to I asked him a question on Twitter. I asked if he played dirt draft while he raced on Twitter, and he responded. Turns out he doesn't, which is, I don't know. I think he could find time, but teach their own, I suppose. Well, you guys sniped all the dudes that I was hoping might make it to me. So I guess I'll just have to go. I'm gonna take a little bit of a wild card right here. I'm gonna go with Sam Seawright. So I think a little bit to Carter's uh point about liking Will Harrington and Will Harrington having success here. I think much like the guys who race on an Illinois bull ring a lot have some success. I think the Southern drivers are a little at home with the driving style on the racetrack. Um, and so I've just noticed over the years, first time guys who are fast from that region, they they can do okay. And Sam's had a pretty good year. I think he finished second in HTF points, won a couple races, has been pretty fast. So um, when looking at everyone else there, I feel like he won't be as scared. So I'm gonna roll Sam.
I like that pick.
Uh,
I was eyeing up C right too. I think he had a real. I don't. I mean, I don't know if it's a breakout year, but I think he had a really really good year with Hunt the Front and kind of on that regional scene. I mean, he was regularly up there, at least in dirt draft salaries. He was one of the highest dirt
Mhm.
draft guys, night in, night out with at the front. So it's a good thing.
Often. I mean, I don't. I don't know that Overton won all that many races on tour. I think Seawright, and I'm whole talking on my left foot thing again, but I think Seawright might have had more series wins than he did. But unless Carter fact checks me in real time, which he's generally pretty good at, we're gonna just have to let that one ride.
Um,
I was like, I don't know the answer to
I
that
don't.
one.
I know
So.
he didn't win many races. I know this year because there was like a long stretch where like his last win was like May or June, and then he won in like September or October. There was like a super long stretch there.
that
So
was Overton you're talking about
yes,
there?
Overton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I think Seawright may have actually had more series wins than Overton. Um, But so now we're round six, third round of Thursday, Friday, and I believe it is Carter to Julian to me. And then
Um.
it's going to get way out of hand for these next ones. So don't ask me what we're doing.
Hmm. Um. I'll go. Ooh, I don't know. I should have looked at his stats. I'll go with Carson Ferguson. I know he was there last year. Couldn't tell you how he did whatsoever, but I know he was there because I have a picture of his car on my phone. So
You were there and he were there. That much we know. I feel like he did pretty good. That's a whole just a tingly feeling. There's not a ton to go from that, but I think he
I'm
did
looking it up.
okay.
Here we go. He finished not great.
Not great.
Ninth in the heat and ninth in the qualifier. So can only go up
Oh,
pretty much. So
well, there must have been someone with a similarly looking car.
no, no,
That might have been what it was.
it was a picture of his car. It was when he was pulling into the track. So it was before he finished ninth.
Okay. Well, and to be fair, he's in the primary car for that team now, whereas
That is
last year he
true.
wasn't. So
He's
maybe
top
some
dog
more
now.
resources. Yeah, he's top dog now. I like
Also,
it. He has a dot on my list, so you didn't go off too far off script there, I don't think.
if I keep randomly getting up, it's because my dog can't decide whether she wants to stay in or out of my room. So my apologies for that.
It's all right. I was muted through a good portion of the Texas or showdown talk because my dogs are going nuts because someone was at the door. So I feel. Julian, you're up next, and we are on Friday.
Yeah, there's a guy just kind of sitting here that nobody took. Has a couple big wins, maybe a national title, maybe like a Hudson O'Neal. I know he's kind of like had a weird year with everything that kind of happened. But I mean, he's still Hudson O'Neal. It's a bull ring. I feel like he's really like he could still send it. And I
Oh,
mean,
You-
he'll send it all right. He'll send it and junk
Oh,
the
he'll
car in
sign
hot
it.
laps, and then you'll get
Yeah, do you
no.
know it? I was gonna say, do
Last
you know
year,
his last two finishes?
yeah, but like I said, you gotta go talent. You gotta go talent at some point. I remember last year, but you know what? It's a new car. It's a new year. He can make it happen.
and
New
it's a new
team.
catch
I
fence.
hear. Yeah, but it is. And New Jersey barriers probably too. So,
I do like Hudson though. I probably would have taken him
yeah,
next time
Hey,
around.
and
So
it's the
yeah.
sixth round of the draft, and you're not going to take a guy that has a national touring title. I mean,
No one. I'm not going to fault you for that one at all.
it's
Random
a high
tidbit.
risk, maybe a high risk, very very high reward though, because Hudson O'Neal could easily win the race. I mean,
I
on
mean,
his
conceivably, if he finishes his heat race, he's already exceeded expectations, and he might be in a good spot. So, no, I want to fact check myself though. I said 21 on that. It was 22. I was there in 22. So just want to make sure that I'm telling the truth. Um, all right, my pick Friday, and we are kind of down there. I'm not gonna lie. I've only got small lots left. Um, I'm gonna go with, you know, uh, let's go with the quasi hometown kid, Gordy Gundaker. Gordy, I think he's not run a ton. and this is more of a storyline pick than anything else, but um, I think he's run this event a bunch. He has a chance to do really good, and it means something to him to do well. So figure we're down here, and Julian took the last national champion. So I mean, I'm fresh out of those.
I mean, he has a good mustache, unless he's shut off for some reason. And
That's
I
true.
also exchanged head nods with him at Charlotte, so he actually acknowledged me. So that's a good pick.
Well, I think him and Nick are really good buddies too, so it makes sense that they both would be part of the head nod group. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that pick.
I like it.
You have two of my friends on your team, so
Yeah. That's for my roster name, Julian's friends. All right. So here's where pandemonium kicks in. We're in round 7. This is uncharted territory for the Dirt Info Draft. So I hypothesize that we just we'll go Carter to Julian to me for this round. And then me to Carter to Julian for the next round, and then Julian to me to Carter or whoever. We'll get everyone on 1, 2, and 3 as we go. We'll figure it out. Yep. But so Carter, we're back on Thursday, deep in round 4. So talent's getting a little bit thinner, but who you got?
I'll go. Ooh, there's 2 guys I'm thinking here. We'll do Shannon Babb. I was
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one other guy, another former Summer Nationals champ that I was looking at, but I decided to go with Shannon Babb. So he's
Right.
I don't know how he's done lately there, but early, like one of the first few years, didn't he win a prelim, or there was I've seen the video like a million times. Him and a couple other guys were like all battling for, I don't know if it was a prelim win or the main win or whatever, but he was right up front that time. So hopefully he does that again.
Yeah.
I think
Well, and he
Babs
fit.
too.
What's
He's
that?
so close recently to so many big wins.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think he's due.
That's true. And he fits your Illinois bull ring motif that you got going on there. So you're just like hitting all the boxes.
my
So
Mars slash Hell Tour
yeah.
thing I got going on.
Yeah. All right, Julian. We'll call it your pick. We're on Thursday again.
Yeah, I mean, there's a guy on here once again. He's kind of slipped through the cracks. He's kind of a boomer bust pick, but he's very exciting when he's on. So we're gonna go for Ashton Winger.
That was the other guy I was thinking about.
He's I mean he's gonna be 110% full send every single lap. So he might be in the fence, tear the fence down, be upside down, land in the hot dog stand, not sure. Might get into a fight before or after, don't know. Didn't have much luck in Volusia a couple weeks ago. I think he was involved in like
Handful of
98% of the
incidents.
crashes, whether it was his
Yeah.
fault or not. But yeah, I mean he can win a national touring race. He has the speed. He's good on like a small track like this, so we'll go Ashton Winger.
I saw you put
Yeah,
on
I think you got
Facebook
it.
too that he's keeping the old body on the car, so that'll probably he'll
He-
probably
There you go.
destroy something. So
No need to worry about the sheet metal.
I had too much, polish on my team. I really needed to ruffle the feathers up a little bit with my Josh Rice
Yeah,
and Finger. So
that's fair. Needed to bring in a bad boy. Everyone needs a couple of them on their roster. Um, all right. So I think I'm gonna go. I mean, I'm a little shocked he's there. I feel like he runs this event very frequently, and I think has a decent track record of putting it in the A main on Saturday. So I'm gonna go with Chris Simpson.
which one? There's
I
2 on the
think
list.
The good one, the one that makes the show.
We
The
still love you, other Pacific.
MRA. Yeah, the one in the PBR car. I don't know how many other ways to say. Uh, but yeah, I think he's made it again. 2022, the year I was there, he definitely made it. So that's probably seared in my memory and like a recency bias that he's been awesome all the time. But um, I think he was in it last year too, or maybe an incident trying to battle to get in or
There
something. I
there
feel like
was
he
an
was
incident
relevant there.
between him and RTJ. I know that.
Yeah.
But I do think he made it
Squeeze them
in.
already.
Was that your obligatory rip to the MRA mention that you just got in? Okay, I thought so.
I
I
thought
just wanted to make sure that we all heard it.
He finished fifth last year, second in his prelim. So
Okay.
there you go.
And he's got PBR on the car. So
he's like Illinois bullring adjacent. Like
mhm.
I don't know, he like almost fits in with that crowd, but like more Iowa.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's like he hangs with that crowd, but they don't necessarily like party at the same places, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very underrated for this. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good pick.
Yeah. So, all right. So then we'll go. So this is that was our last round of Thursday. This is gonna be the last round of Friday. And I think we said we'll go Julian to Carter. No, I can't work. Julian to me to Carter, I guess. And then the next one will be me, Carter, Julian, and we'll each have done 1, 2, and 3.
I had a pick here and I'm trying to remember who I wanted. There's some underrated guys here that I think could make it happen. Um but I'm gonna go Zach Mitchell, another Southern guy, hunt the front kind of guy. I think he had a pretty good season. Um, he had,
Second or third in their season standings. It was him, Seawright, and Overton.
and I'm trying to think of the race. He just finished second in a really big race recently. I'm blanking on it for some reason. But I,
Not the Alabama 100, the EAMS race or something different.
I might have been. I can't like. I'm just
Sonoya.
blank.
Okay, Sonoya.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That
yep,
was
yep,
a flow race.
yep,
Yeah,
yep, yep. There it
yeah. That
is.
was it. Yeah, I couldn't. I missed that night. I was at the hockey game, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Zach Mitchell. I think maybe he's not somebody maybe that really sends everybody crazy and it's like, wow, this guy's blowing it up. He's kind of like still kind of in that underground phase. But I feel like if you watch late model racing enough, Zach Mitchell is damn good at driving a late model.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I don't know if he's been to the Dome yet, but I mean, I think he could really top 10, and maybe even better. Obviously, he finished second in Sonoya and
yeah.
Flow, so he could pull off something crazy. But yeah, I think easy top 10. I think he'll make the feature.
Yeah. I mean, teammates to Tanner English, they're both in those Coltman Farms cars. So I think those cars are here every year. But I mean, these two dudes, they're contenders. I mean, they've got a solid roster of drivers. Um, I think I got I think I got one or two dots left on my list. So we're getting to the end of the people I've sort of identified. I'm gonna go with Spencer Hughes. JCM car, that thing back there again. But he's got a decent ride. Again, this is a car I think that's been to the Dome quite a bit with some different drivers. So obviously the owner thinks it's worthwhile to keep going. So that leads me to think that they might be willing to do something for a win. And so going to Carter's theory last week, I was trying to find a guy who's willing to put her in victory lane. So I think Spencer Hughes is a pretty solid pick.
Thought
Carter is
about that.
gonna be it's gonna be the last mandated pick from Friday. So quasi Mr. Irrelevant.
We got slim pickings here. I'm between two guys. Actually three guys. Ooh, crap.
Ooh.
I'm just gonna go with this guy because he always said, actually no, I've changed my mind. I'm going with Rusty Schlenk. I was between him, Jason Welshan, and Daniel Adam as my last pick. So
Ah, oh man. It should have been Daniel Adam.
I,
There is a story there. Everyone will tell you at some point, but I wish that was Daniel Adam so bad.
Hey, but that Schlenk pick is good. That would have been. I was waffling between. I was actually going between Mitchell, Hughes, and Schlenk for my last pick. So,
yeah,
I mean, I think
I didn't see him there until like right as I was about to pick Welshan, and then I saw Schlenk there, and I was like, screw it, we'll go him.
it looks like his. I believe his son is also entered. I'm
Yep.
not
Yes.
familiar with him,
Yep.
but I see his name on there too. And his name's
Yeah.
Carter Schlenk. You
I
picked the
also
wrong one.
I saw Rusty Schlink when they used to have a race of champions on Thursday of the Dome, and he won that when I went the first time. So
Nice.
they don't
And
do
you know
that
what?
anymore though.
He's also Hell Tour adjacent because he runs some of the Hell Tour races when they go over to the Ohio, Indiana area. So there you
That is
go.
true.
Hmm. That is true. All right. So I'm the first pick. And then Carter, and then Julian. And I'm genuinely shocked this guy's here. I think we all are having similar
We can
thoughts,
pick
but
from either day for this round, correct?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, best of what is
Saw that
left.
coming.
But yeah, I, I'm not entirely sure how he's still there. I might have picked a driver or two over him. I shouldn't have. Who knows? But I'm gonna reap the rewards all the same. I that
It's the
car won it last year, so
he's the Longhorn house car driver, like the
yeah.
biggest in chassis.
I know the car that won the whole thing last year. Different driver, but that was the team. That was the car.
And I mean, he just
You,
won the Hunt the Front Championship. He's had how
yeah.
many wins Hell Tour?
Well, someone was shining down on me for
This is
taking
like Tom
Tanner
Brady going
English
like the last
over.
round of the draft for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. Definitely. I think I hit it out of the park on that one. But Carter, you're up.
Like
So if that was your
I
guy,
can't pick the second Chris Simpson, right? There's um I don't know who to pick. Um
I can toss a couple names your way if you'd like. I got Joseph Joyner. Um, I've also got Tommy Shepard. I thought was an interesting one. Um,
Who's from Illinois? Just take somebody from Illinois.
that's kind of what
Freddie
I'm looking
Carpenter
at.
is there. Freddie Carpenter put it in the show last year. Jimmy Owens, the O Show.
I was looking at him. Um has anyone
Tricky
taken
Tristan.
I'll go with Miles Moose. I don't yeah, no one
Miles
took him.
Moose. I like
A good
that.
pick.
No E, right?
No, you spelled it right.
Nailed it.
That's a former Dirt Draft Performer of the Week, Miles Moose,
That is a former
and
Dirt Jeff former of the week.
was
I think we've
in
got a
the flow
couple of them
points for a
on
while
here.
too.
What's that? I'm sorry, I spoke
He
over
was
you.
in the flow points for quite a while there too. Even went out to
Yeah,
Lernerville. I think
yeah,
worked, drove all night, all day or something, and then drove all night to work after the race.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he's definitely an Illinois bullring kind of send it kind of guy.
yeah,
So that's a good pick.
yeah. Take it. And now, Julian, you've got the Mr. Irrelevant of the whole draft. You get the absolute pick of the litter of what is left. Who you got?
I might need to waffle here for a second by looking through
Well,
this list and pretending I'm really going through it. Actually, I really
Mike
am.
Spatola is another name that I thought was interesting.
Yeah,
I
there's
looked at him too.
Stevie Shepard is there. Uh,
there
Timmy Dick.
uh,
Timmy Dick, Patrick Daniel. Sherry picks him every time. Old gal. She picks Timmy Dick every time he's on their draft. So I guarantee he's gonna be on our Thursday roster.
see there's some guys here that I know I've definitely seen on my race pass and I've watched like on Flow and things like that in races and I'm like I think they're pretty good. I'm just a little. Let's see.
Bob Gardner.
Gardner, Pink
Yeah,
Panther. Yeah.
I
And
think I think I have
Joyner.
an idea with him going here. Give me
All right.
another second here to waffle. But if you noticed, our little icons in the draft, we're actually all matched up with their hats and stuff on there for one. So that's kind of funny.
Hey, look at
Yeah,
that. It's
I
almost
dug
like
my
we planned it.
I dug my Bubba Pollard hat out of storage today. So how about that? Didn't plan on it,
Nice.
but okay.
All
So
right,
let's
let her
see.
rip, Tater Chip. Got to make a pick.
I want to make a pick. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna go with Joseph Joyner.
I like it.
We're gonna go hunt. I was thinking about Rusty Griffith, Rodney Melvin, but we're gonna go Joseph Joyner. Hunt the front guy. I hear they're sponsoring some dirt draft social contests
Mm-hmm.
for the Dome, where you could win 2025 Gateway Dirt Nationals reserve tickets
Yeah,
each night for the late models. So why not go with the hunt the front guy?
I
Um,
like it.
I
Nice.
don't really. I
And
mean,
I
I,
mean, the
they
dirt, the
haven't.
dirt draft thing's all the reason in the world. I mean, that's 3 days of
YouTube
tickets.
channel needs content, so I mean,
Yeah,
that's what every YouTuber says. Do it for content. So
yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
He'll draft himself on his roster, win the show, and win tickets to go back next year to watch.
And
Like,
then maybe since I picked him, he'll give me the tickets.
maybe. Unlikely, but maybe. Anyway, I digress. Is he part of the head nod crew or not, though? I mean, that's a
I
crucial
No,
factor.
but I have been. I went to Southern Raceway this year, which is the Hunt the Front headquarters. That's their home track, Southern Raceway in Milton, Florida.
Okay.
So
So
we're also best friends. So I have one of my best friends on my team now, and you have two of my best friends on your team. So
I
and
love it.
Carter doesn't have any of his friends because he didn't take Daniel Adam.
Yeah, should have. That was such a missed opportunity. I'm so disappointed. Anyway, I digress. With that, pew, 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 we finished the 2024 Dome Trap for both the late models and modifieds. I think with that, we'll go ahead and get this graphic off the screen. And I believe it is time for our final segment, which is called Carter,
The one for the road.
One for the Road.
Um, want me to start?
Sure.
All right. Announced earlier this week that at Clay County Speedway in Spencer, Iowa, they're gonna have a 25,000 to win stock car, 15K to win IMCA mod show. I don't remember the dates on. I think it was May of 2025. The picture pulled up. Here it is. Can't. Oh, early start of June. Very first 4 days of June they're having it. So, and then they got 10,000 for sport mods too. And then hobby stocks and four cylinders get some extra money added on there too. So pretty big show. I know last year it was, I think it was 25 for sport mods and stock cars, something like that. I know Ricky Thornton Jr. was there running in the stock car and in a mod. Grabowski was there. Bunch of big names showed up for it, so I'm sure it'll be the same this year and extra money for the mods this year too. I think it was only like 2,000 to win for mods last year, so you'll get I'm sure a ton of cars with all the money for all five classes they're running. So
Like, yeah. Any chance you'll make it there?
probably not. It's
Bummer.
it's I think it's during the middle of the week if I that's what they did last year for their show. It was like yeah, it's Sunday through Wednesday, so very unlikely I'll make it there. And I got some other races I'm planning to go to that I got to save some money for. So
Yeah. I was gonna say that's in the heart of the schedule, right? So it's hard to go too far um
and I can't miss a
during
Monday
that
or else
time.
I'll get yelled at too. So
There is that. You do have obligations on Monday. All right. So I'll go ahead and take it next. So I kind of want to give a shout out to some news I saw, but Kyle Strickler is going to be running a modified at the Wild West Shootout. So interesting that we talked about him last week and kind of how he's running different sanctions and spent a little bit more, maybe a little bit more time in a mod than we had anticipated. But maybe he brings the late model, but I didn't see anything. So if he's bringing just the modified out to the Wild West Shootout, I think that means Kyle Strickler's coming to play in the modifieds next year. And I don't know if that means just big show hunting, or if that means running a tour plus big show hunting when he can. But I don't know. It's interesting. I can't. it- There's there's very low likelihood he's running a UMP out there. Everyone runs USRA. That's a USRA track. I do not know the sanctioning rules out there. Maybe it's USRA. I wish I maybe would have looked, but all the same, I suspect he's going to have a USRA setup out there, and so um, it's it's pretty neat. I'm going to be keeping an eye on to see how his season shakes out because I think
Well,
big mod things are coming.
that'll be interesting to see if it's his car, and if it's not his car, it's probably
Yeah,
USRA. If it is, and he has a USRA car, that's even bigger news. Because
yeah,
I mean that's definitely somebody that's going to take the fight to Dillard out there in the mods at least.
yeah, yeah. What was he in an elite? He was in an elite this past weekend at the Rudiman, right?
A couple weeks ago, but yeah, he
Or a
was.
couple weekends ago. Yeah, okay. So just an interesting factoid. There's been an elite chassis on the USMTS tour a couple years ago with Will Krupp. So I don't know, man. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. That one caught me off guard, especially after we had talked about him, just to see that's what he's bringing. Got it.
Yeah, in 2025 we're going to be doing a weekly segment on Kyle Strickler and his daily life. So
Yeah, soon enough. It's gonna be howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to the Kyle Strickler podcast, where we talk about Kyle Strickler the whole time.
the Kyle Strickler podcast rebrand immediately.
All right. Julian,
Anyway,
do you have
one
anything
for the
racing
road because we
adjacent?
need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of an easy plug for me this week is the Snowball Derby, biggest asphalt, most prestigious asphalt late model race in the country. This upcoming Sunday at Five Flag Speedway, where I will be. I'll also be there on Friday for Snowball Derby pool qualifying. I've never been to pool qualifying, and I'm told it's pretty edge of your seat stuff because they lock in the top 30 cars. And so everybody's running on the ragged edge to make that. And then they also have, fit the theme of the podcast somewhat, is the Modifieds of Mayhem 75 lap finale. Not your Northeast style, kind of like a UMP IMCA asphalt kind of car, but they're still pretty quick. They look pretty cool. Should have a lot of cars there. And interesting last note about the Snowball Derby is I noticed Carson Brown's on the entry list for the Dome, and I didn't realize he wasn't going to be either in the Snowflake 100 or the Snowball Derby, because
Mhm.
he's run at Five Flags quite a bit this year. So there's a asphalt dirt crossover to end the show, and I'll
Right
stop
on.
talking about asphalt before you yell
Yeah.
at me.
Well, at least one question. So the pole qualifying, the, correct me if I'm wrong, right? That's the trim that they have to start the race in. So there's always that intrigue of are they in qualifying trim or race trim, or do I have this mistaken for a different race?
I'm not 100% sure. Usually that's the case. So, I mean, I know that for the guys that don't make it, they have a 50, I think one or two 50 lap LCQs on Saturday. And those guys do have to start the race on those tires. I'm
Okay.
not 100% certain on snowball qualifying. But
No worries. I was just
it'd
trying to
be,
remember because that's a factoid for something I learned last year about this time, and so I always thought that was interesting. Is like,
and
you imagine if that's how dirt late models were? You had to start the race, or I mean, it
yeah, it
could look
might.
different.
I mean, you might be right. I'm not 100% certain on that. But it is also the first year that the Snowball Derby will be on Flow. And so they'll have all that broadcast. It's also on Dirt Draft
Hmm.
with the Snowflake 100 Pro Late Model Race, and the Snowball Derby Super Late Model Race. So big
And the
things.
contest for the qualifying too.
Yeah.
They got
So
yeah.
a
So
lot
that's
of
kind of
lot
interesting.
of stuff going on with the Snowball Derby, and I believe there's a trophy maybe involved or something there. So that'd be fun.
Yeah, there definitely is. Last question. So I've noticed the last 2 weeks you have had a bit of a theme of where you leave early. Are you leaving early either of these two races this weekend?
No.
Okay, good.
Because there's only 2 races on Friday night, and then there's only the Snowball Derby on Sunday. So
Right on. Well, that should be fun. I'm actually super jealous. I've actually never been to an asphalt race, and Elko is not far enough for me to say that out loud, but I have genuinely not been to an asphalt race. But that one always seemed kind of neat. And you always tell me how prestigious it is. So, oh, maybe we'll make a trek there one of these days.
there's
Um,
no race that gives me goosebumps quite like the Snowball Derby does. So I'm excited.
yeah, and I could say the same for the Gateway Dirt National. Seriously, is that's wild. So it's just cool that they happen on the same weekend, right? Like two really meaningful events. But anyway, with that, I think we're going to bid everyone adieu. Thank you again for hanging out with us while we chatted, tried to draft a couple of rosters over here, and generally just had a good time. As always, like, share, comment. I hate begging for it, but it is necessary. You're going to get tired of me saying that, but truth be the truth. Other than that, we will catch you again next Wednesday. And thank you again for the time. We much appreciate it.